Once upon a time, in a distant past, a young woman possessed the gift of foresight. She could see the future and avoid misfortune, bringing good luck to those around her. No one knew where these women came from, only that their powers were passed down through generations of daughters. For hundreds of years, they served as prophetic witches at the side of kings. As they foresaw the downfall of their kingdoms and the chaos that would engulf the land, these witches would silently leave the palace and disappear into the ordinary world. With wars raging everywhere, the woman who inherited the witch's bloodline found someone who could protect her. This man, seizing the opportunities that arose in those tumultuous times, rose to power and wealth. He secretly took the woman to a secluded sanctuary, keeping her as his own lucky charm. Over time, the woman and her daughter remained isolated from the world, living in an unknown place. Meanwhile, a powerful businessman, the chairman of a large corporation, was staying in a luxurious hotel with multiple floors. His daughter, Seulbai, was a restless spirit, constantly moving around. He approached a woman, extending his hand towards her. She met his gesture, her own hand glowing with a light that seemed to emanate from within her. She spoke of the risks he faced. Seulbai, who loved to read, was initially excited when someone brought her books. However, her excitement quickly faded as she realized they were all old favorites, like the blue book she had read 179 times. She tossed it aside, mumbling about the immortal jellyfish. She explained that these creatures, once they start to age, reverse the process, returning to their younger state. This was like reverse aging in humans, a sort of regrowth. 4 handsome young men arrived at the hotel. The one in the beige vest noticed a strange noise above and went to investigate. Seulbai, curious, was listening at the door when a supervisor called her back, threatening to report her to Chairman Xian. The 4 men were downstairs, enjoying a feast and drinks. Seulbai, trapped in her quarters, felt bored and frustrated. She gazed at her reflection in the water, muttering about the stories she had read. Suddenly, she ran to her mother, Mai Su, asking when she would meet her prince. Her mother, who needed rest and was receiving an injection, had no answer. Seulbai heard a commotion outside and asked the supervisor about it. The supervisor ignored her, instead giving Seulbai a colorful pill to swallow. It was supposed to make her fall asleep. However, Seulbai had been through this before and only pretended to take the pill, spitting it out once the supervisor left. Restless and curious, she slipped out the door, eager to hear what was happening outside. She recognized the sounds of animals and then, realizing it was a human, slammed on the door. The noise attracted the attention of Su Quang, who walked towards the door. Seulbai felt his presence and, just before he reached the door, she retreated. When the door finally opened, Seulbai peered out, recognizing the person outside. As the door opened, she ran after Su Quang, entering the elevator without him noticing. She chased after him, following him to the bus stop and then onto the bus. On the bus, she felt his touch and instinctively believed he was her prince. Seeing Seulbai barefoot, Su Quang offered her his shoes to wear. Back at the hotel, the staff was desperately searching for her. Su Quang took her to his house for a meal of squid. As soon as they arrived, Seulbai's eyes lit up at the sight of the seafood. She grabbed the squid and demanded to eat it. After Su Quang's mother accidentally touched the girl, a wave of good luck suddenly swept over them. Su Quang took her on adventures, amazed at how he suddenly excelled at everything, from darts to bowling. As evening fell, the chairman, having been informed that Seulbai was missing, sent people to search everywhere. However, Su Quang had already returned Seulbai to the hotel. As they arrived, they were confronted by a group of people who forcibly took them away. Seulbai, terrified, clutched onto Su Quang's hand as the chairman, furious at the sight, slapped Su Quang hard in the face. He then had Su Quang taken to the police station, accusing him of attempted kidnapping. Su Quang was bewildered, completely lost as to what had happened. After Seulbai returned home, she cried into her mother's arms, telling her she had seen Quang's future. The chairman brought his son, Min Jun, to Seulbai and declared him to be her lucky charm, someone whose very existence brought her good fortune. Back in his room, the chairman, consumed by rage, smashed his glass of wine. Meanwhile, at the police station, Su Quang was bailed out by an older man who warned him that he could no longer contact Min Jun. Outside, amidst the heavy rain, Su Quang's mother waited for him, comforting him. Suddenly, a truck came barreling towards them. Su Quang's mother pushed him out of the way, taking the full impact of the truck herself. While scattering her ashes at sea, Su Quang was murdered on the boat and thrown overboard in a bag. Min Jun, drinking alone, reminisced about his friend. When he learned of Su Kang's death, he was heartbroken and ran to his father, discovering that his father was responsible. The chairman then approached Seul Bai's mother, warning her not to let it happen again, or she would suffer the consequences. The next morning, on a distant island, Su Kang was rescued by a fisherman. Newspapers reported his mother's death, blaming her debts and despair for her suicide. That evening, at the hotel, Seul Bai missed Su Kang deeply. She was being brutally tortured by the chairman's men. Su Kang felt a sharp pang in his heart, remembering Seul Bai. Before departing, the fisherman gave him some money and a fake ID with a new name. He knew that using Su Kang's real name would lead to his eventual capture. The ID belonged to the fisherman's son, who looked very much like Su Kang and had died a year ago without a death certificate. The fisherman accepted Su Kang as his son. 2 years later, Go Myung-sung became a legend in the Seodong market, feared by many because of the misfortune he seemed to bring upon them. During those 2 years, Seul Bai remained confined to the hotel, forced to extend her hand to the chairman's son every day. Finally, she begged him to let her out, and he agreed. He took her to a restaurant, where she saw her prince, Su Kang. Back at the hotel, Seul Bai excitedly told her mother she had met her prince. Mai Su hypnotized the supervisor, enabling them to escape together. Once they were free, Mai Su encouraged Seul Bai to find her prince. In the rain, Seul Bai found Su Kang and stood before him. He looked at her, stunned and utterly surprised. Su Kang woke up from a dream about Seul Bai, his skin prickling with goosebumps. Every time he had that dream, bad luck followed. He was brushing his teeth when the brush broke. As he ran downstairs, he was harassed by a girl. Getting into his car, he felt a sense that something was going to happen today. Meanwhile, at the hotel, Seul Bai and her mother had escaped, but her mother had made the ultimate sacrifice. She let her daughter go free, choosing to face the consequences herself. When Seul Bai stepped out, the chairman's son saw her but let her go. She got into a taxi and headed towards Su Kang. It was raining hard when she arrived, taking him by surprise. He was angry with her, though, and shut the door, leaving her outside. A customer came to buy mackerel but accidentally brushed against Seul Bai. She told him he was allergic to mackerel, but he didn't listen. The woman dropped her card, and Seul Bai picked it up and ran after her to return it. But the card was wiped out at the market. Su Kang, having sorted everything out, went home furious at Seul Bai and shooed her away. She looked pathetic. People in the market were whispering and gossiping about Seul Bai, finding her strange. The chairman, meanwhile, was searching for her relentlessly. He threatened Seul Bai's mother and confronted his son for letting her go. As night fell, Su Kang was cleaning up outside when a girl from the neighboring restaurant flirted with him. Seul Bai sat alone, feeling lonely. 2 people from the market noticed her and came over to talk to her. The short man was the fish stall owner and the chairman of the Seodong Market Association. Su Kang appeared, making Seul Bai happy. She spoke to him in a suggestive way, but Su Kang always glared at her. He took her to the police station to find her mother, but then brought her back to his place, saying she could stay for 1 night only. When they got to his room, she acted cute and clingy with him. Her host was powerless. Seul Bai's mother was holding a book, remembering her daughter. The prophecy said that when the witches are born, they will hold the sapphire stone. Others are different, not like them. Seul Bai and her mother were like mermaids on land. The precious stone they wore was tied to their lives. When their powers faded, their lives would slowly disappear, the light of the stone would fade, and finally, the prophetic witch would die. Seul Bai was asleep, but she was muttering her mother's name, drawing Su Kang's attention. He woke up and lifted her into bed. Suddenly, she grabbed his hand and mumbled something, making him jump. He wondered why she was talking about marine biologists in her sleep. She was mumbling and writhing in her sleep, confusing Su Kang. The next morning, he woke up and couldn't find Seul Bai. He searched frantically and found her eating dried squid. She was very hungry because she hadn't eaten anything the previous day. Su Kang made her some food, and when she took a bite, her expression brightened and she praised his cooking. After they ate, Su Kang took Seul Bai to his room, giving her a whistle in case she needed help on the street. He also gave her air freshener which made her choke and a map to the police station. He gave her some money to buy anything she wanted. Then, he ushered her out and sent her to the police station. When he returned to his shop, he encountered some of the things Seul Bai had talked about the previous night. He thought it was just a coincidence. Meanwhile, the chairman was still searching for Seul Bai, desperate for her ability to see the future. He pressured his son to find her, but the son suggested that if he found her, he would handle her his way. Su Kang, though he had sent her to the police station to find her family, was still worried about her. He didn't know that Seul Bai was watching him from a different stall. Suddenly, a bald man appeared, startling Seul Bai. She blamed the short man for attracting Su Kang's scolding. Su Kang was working but kept thinking about her, though he dismissed it as just bad luck. Seeing him take off his apron and leave, she followed. Drawn by the delicious smell of food, she started eating. While doing so, she met someone who shared her passion for marine biology, and they had a delightful conversation. Suddenly, a group of thugs approached Seul Bai, looking like they were up to something shady. Su Kang, meanwhile, returned to the police station to look for her, but she was gone. The thugs took Seul Bai to their place, but her behavior seemed strange and almost idiotic to them. Su Kang received a call informing him that Seul Bai was in their hands. He panicked and rushed to the scene, but she was already being sold to another group. As they came to take her, she touched the man's hand and said something that shocked him. He froze, allowing them to take Seul Bai away. As they were putting her in the car, Seul Bai blew the whistle Su Kang had given her. He recognized it and chased after the car. When he caught up, he signaled for her to use the pepper spray. She managed to escape. Reaching a dead end, Seul Bai grabbed Su Kang's hand. The precious stone around her neck glowed, and she said just one word, "Wait." Seul Bai grabbed Su Kang's hand, gave him half a brick, and instructed him to throw it with all his might after she was done speaking. Then, she went around and hypnotized everyone, one by one. Finally, all the thugs were arrested by the criminal police. Su Kang felt like all the misfortune was coming from him, and he was actually happy. That evening, both of them were at the police station giving statements about what had happened. Suddenly, Su Kang remembered Chief Wang. Seul Bai had chosen not to reveal him, as he would be good to Su Kang. Min Jun had been searching for Seul Bai since afternoon and, having heard information from people at the station, he was still waiting for Su Kang. Everyone in the market was curious and looking down from the upper floor, judging. But Min Jun had no opportunity to see them this time, so he left. Seul Bai and Su Kang were still at the station, where they were checking her identity. They couldn't find anything, and everyone assumed she was a foreigner. She said she was from a very faraway place, leaving everyone confused. Chief Wang had gone home to retrieve the money to pay off the thugs so they would release the girl. However, he was holding on to the money, refusing to give it back. The chief had to beat him up and then take the money back to them. After leaving the station, Seul Bai took Su Kang to the chief's son, as she had promised to help him get surgery. When they met the boy, the chief returned home and heard the story from his son. He thought she was just talking nonsense. The two of them returned home. After Seul Bai showered and changed, Su Kang curiously asked her about what happened in the alleyway earlier. She explained it, and her explanation made sense. Seeing her injured hand, Su Kang went to get disinfectant for her. She flirted with him, which made him blush. Su Kang went to the hotel, suspicious about something. Suddenly, he was chased by a group of people. Min Jun happened to see him and recognized his friend. He came to help Su Kang escape. Meanwhile, the chairman went to see Mai Su. She was acting like a crazy person, making him very flustered. Su Kang arrived home only to find the neighbors, a mother and her 2 children, demanding their bike back. The mother insisted that Su Kang pay 200,000 won. Seul Bai suddenly appeared, holding the boy's hand, having hypnotized him. They ran together to get the bike back. When they arrived, Seul Bai jumped on the back of Su Kang's bike. She hugged him tightly, making him feel shy and embarrassed, but also a little bit happy. Sitting on the bike, Seul Bai thought of her mother. Her mother always wore gloves on her hands so that she wouldn't touch other people. It was dangerous, because seeing the future was dangerous. She could prevent misfortune and bring good luck, but the misfortune wouldn't disappear. It would accumulate on her. This was why Seul Bai couldn't take her gloves off. But on the bike, Seul Bai took them off and threw them away. When they arrived home, she was hungry because she hadn't eaten dinner. Su Kang made her some ramen. While they ate, he kept mentioning her parents, but she really just wanted to be with him. Tears streamed down her face, so he taught her how to cook. Then he washed clothes. While Seul Bai slept, Su Kang sat on the balcony, thinking about Min Jun. He had so many questions. Min Jun was also standing high up, thinking about what his father had done to his friend. The chairman was having nightmares. The female supervisor held a syringe and threatened Mai Su, even climbing on top of her and choking her, forcing her to reveal where Seul Bai was. The next morning, as soon as they woke up, disaster struck Su Kang. Everything in the kitchen, from the rice cooker to the microwave, was smoking. Su Kang was panicked. Seul Bai was in the bathroom playing with bubbles, and the washing machine was overflowing with detergent. He was helpless. Seul Bai's mother was sitting, gazing into a bowl of water. Seeing an image of her daughter smiling, she felt happy. After they shared a joyful meal together, Chief Wang, taking his son along as Seul Bai had predicted, began to trust her. After dinner, Su Kang took Seul Bai shopping for clothes, but the shopkeeper kept picking out revealing outfits for her. As they left the store, Chief Wang came up to Seul Bai, overwhelmed with emotion, and thanked her for helping his son recover from his eye cancer. Everyone in the market was shocked. Seul Bai, feeling hot, invited everyone for ice cream. They all found it strange. She whispered to Su Kang that she was a lucky charm, and after hearing about the bad luck he'd been experiencing, she decided to make him the lucky man of the Xiaodong market. He was confused. Chief Wang stood beside them, clapping in approval. That evening, Min Jun came looking for Su Kang's place. Su Kang was taking Seul Bai out for food. Back home, they were about to cook when they realized they were out of gas. Su Kang was about to go buy some when he saw Min Jun sitting outside. But because of what happened in the past, Su Kang hated Min Jun and left immediately. The next morning, Seul Bai, helping her prince, sold a lot of fish. She attracted many customers. However, one auntie disliked this because she also sold fish. She went out and argued with Seul Bai, but when Seul Bai unexpectedly took her hand, she spoke right to the heart of the issue, leaving the auntie flustered. A girl living on the floor below Su Kang's was talking to Seul Bai. She seemed to have a crush on Su Kang and was trying to separate him from Seul Bai. When she went downstairs, she hopped into Su Kang's car and hitched a ride to the Xiaodong market. When she got off, she ran into Min Jun. She approached him and said that she would never come back. Then she went to the market and started doing a cow dance in front of Su Kang's stall. This attracted a lot of customers, but a neighbor, an auntie, came over and argued with Su Kang, claiming that he was stealing her regular customers. Suddenly, she grabbed Seul Bai's hand and became flustered before running away. Meanwhile, at the hotel, Min Jun's fiancée arrived. She had been abroad for 2 years. After she returned, Min Jun went to his father and told him that the engagement was off. He couldn't keep lying and hiding Seul Bai for the rest of his life. Keeping someone captive like that was a terrible crime. The father then told his son that the longer she stayed out there, the more monstrous she would become. He then went to see Mai Su. She was sitting, crying, holding her daughter's dress. She ran to him and begged him not to take Seul Bai back. Seul Bai was with Chief Wang. He took her to the post office. She was probably writing a letter to her mother. A former prisoner who had just been released was approached by someone from Chairman Xian, who gave him a cake and a phone. It was Seul Bai's father. That night, Chairman Xian had a nightmare. He woke up suddenly and went to his son's room, mistaking him for his father. Su Kang and Seul Bai were having dinner. Seul Bai said that she would help him make a lot of money. Then, she started calling him Prince, making him choke on his food. The next morning, there were no customers. They heard from Mrs. Mai so that all the customers from the previous day had been hospitalized. Seul Bai didn't believe it and thought Mrs. Mai So was lying. She was about to confront her when Su Kang stopped her. Mrs. Mai So was hot-tempered. If they argued with her, they might be chased away. Meanwhile, Min Jun was sitting with his fiancée at an outdoor restaurant. They had called off their engagement. As she left, she saw Su Kang and became suspicious. She then saw Min Jun talking to Su Kang and became even more suspicious. She went to the hospital to ask her brother about the man. Jang Jun called Min Jun to confirm. One of their friends was also investigating and found out that the girl in the photo was Seul Bai. He then went to a mental hospital that Chairman Xian had ordered him to visit. When he arrived, he met a woman who recognized him and knew who his father was. She was still mentally sound, but seemed a little scared. She laughed wildly, revealing that she used to be the supervisor at the mansion where Seul Bai and her mother lived. She knew the family's secrets and spilled everything to the friend. She hated the chairman now. After hearing the story, the friend went to Min Jun's house with some calming tea for the chairman, but ran into Min Jun as he was walking out. He was about to leave, but then he remembered about Su Kang and went back to ask Min Jun about it. Min Jun refused to tell him anything and made some suggestive remarks. The friend grabbed his collar and, with a condescending smile, gave him the bag of medicine before leaving. In a deserted house, a group of people were about to go find Bai. They would be handsomely rewarded for bringing her back, according to the leader. This group included Chief Wang. At the market, Bai was arguing with the auntie. She grabbed her hand and, knowing what was going on, told the auntie. When Su Kang returned to his stall and couldn't find Bai, he went to look for her. He found her soothing the auntie. It turned out that the auntie's husband was spending all their money on virtual cats. He was even asking people in the market to invest. The husband was sitting at a dirty coffee shop, showing off pictures of his virtual cat to a group of men. The aunties arrived and broke up the meeting. They convinced the husband to withdraw his investment. The aunties then thanked Bai and invited her to join them for drinks that night. At the dinner, the auntie kept calling Su Kang brother-in-law because she had accepted Bai as her younger sister. Su Kang felt embarrassed and shy, especially after the auntie's apology for lying about the fish situation and her promise to be honest with the other vendors in the market. Everyone was having a great time. When they got home that night, Bai was drunk. Her imagination was running wild. She felt like she was experiencing the heliocentric theory. Her steps were unsteady, and Su Kang had to help her. He couldn't walk her, so he had to carry her on his back. He suddenly felt her warm breath on his shoulder, realizing she had thrown up. He rushed her home. Bai was hugging the toilet, while Su Kang washed her clothes. When he went out to hang the clothes, Bai's image popped into his mind, and he smiled happily. Back in the room, Bai had gone to bed, but she suddenly jumped up and kissed him on the lips. He was stunned and his heart raced. The next morning, he was still dreaming, but when Bai woke up, he jumped. She said she was sick. She felt like a male kangaroo with a big pouch, hopping around, and that there was a giant jellyfish, a kind of planktonic animal, attacking her with its tentacles. She also felt like there were huge waves crashing in front of her. Su Kang smiled and teased her, but then made her some alcohol-infused soup. When they reached the parking lot to go to the market, they saw an abandoned puppy. Bai rushed over and picked it up. Su Kang, looking at her lovingly care for the puppy, remembered the time he had been fed. He just stood there, dazed. When they learned the puppy was from Busan, he decided to take it home. On the way, Bai sat, hugging the puppy, and looked up at the clouds, excited and happy. She kept mumbling to herself. Min Jun went to see Su Kang, but a girl followed him. When he got to Su Kang's store, he overheard some people in the market talking about him going to Busan. He went to a bar with two friends. Chief Wang, who was in the group searching for Bai, tried to throw the group off by telling them that she went to Busan. When Chief Wang went back to report to Su Kang, he learned that the two of them were actually going to Busan. He called Su Kang, but he couldn't understand him and kept driving. Meanwhile, the chairman was visiting his father at the mental hospital. Years ago, Mai Su, the witch, had almost killed him. When he entered the room, his father looked terrifying. Before going to Grandma Youngwoo's restaurant, Su Kang took Bai to a phone store to buy her a phone. A phone was her essential item. She had to have it with her at all times, as if it was part of her. After her prince bought her a phone, she just kept walking around taking pictures. Three thugs were eating at Grandma Youngwoo's restaurant when they received a message about finding Bai. They showed her picture to Grandma Youngwoo, asking her if she knew her. She got angry and chased them out. They saw Bai outside, but she was making a funny face for a photo, so they didn't recognize her. Su Kang was a little scared because he had just received a message from Chief Wang about the situation. The two of them arrived at Grandma Youngwoo's restaurant. She seemed grumpy on the surface, but she was charmed by them and agreed to let them eat there. She even cooked a special meal for them. While they were eating, Su Kang showed her a picture of her grandson. She was touched by the picture because she hadn't seen her daughter-in-law for years, and her daughter-in-law treated her like a criminal. Su Kang encouraged her to apologize, but her ego was too big, and she was stubborn. However, when Bai touched her hand, she was forced to apologize 100 times. They left, and she called her daughter-in-law to apologize. Su Kang and Bai went to find a place to stay. Bai didn't want to stay in a hotel, so they found a small house. It was peaceful, with the sound of the ocean and the scent of the sea. There were seagulls flying overhead. Bai loved it. As the sun went down, the chairman was drinking with his underlings at home. He wondered if he could live peacefully with Mai Su again as they once did. For decades, nobody except him had known what happened. He then went to the mansion to see Mai Su and found a woman torturing her on the bed. He pushed the woman away and, furious, chased her out. He then sat on the bed and held Mai Su's hand. It was getting dark. Su Kang and Seul Bai were sitting in their cottage, afraid to go outside because of the mosquitoes. Su Kang told Seul Bai that her family was looking for her and asked if she wanted to see them. But she just wanted to stay with him forever. She then said some suggestive things to him, making him feel embarrassed. She kept saying she liked him. Su Kang seemed sad, as if he was worried about something. Meanwhile, Chairman Xian gently put a band-aid on Mai Su's wound and took her outside. She smiled at the view. The next morning, he even ate breakfast with her. His son saw them and asked him about his mother. Min Jun thought Seul Bai was his half-sister, and that he shouldn't develop feelings for her. But the chairman said that wasn't true. Su Kang and Seul Bai returned to the market. Everyone greeted them, but one girl was sad because the man she liked already had a girlfriend. She took a beer from the fridge and started drinking. Su Kang just got home and was introduced by Grandma Young Woo to her chain of 6 restaurants in Seoul, where he would be supplying fish. He then happily smiled at Seul Bai. A short while later, he went to see Chief Wang to get information about the identity of the bigwig he was investigating. Chief Wang had been asking around to the heads of smaller gangs and found out that the person funding Chief Wang's loan company was a very rich man in the non-banking financial industry, but the chief had never met him. Meanwhile, the ambitious chairman's son went into his father's office and planted a secret recording chip under the desk. At the Seodon market in Su Kang's store, he put up a sign to hire an employee. Since he would be supplying Grandma Young Woo's restaurant chain, he needed a driver who could drive a truck in the morning. Everyone in the market was surprised. As it got dark, Su Kang didn't want to let Seul Bai go home alone, so he asked Chief Wang to take her home. However, Seul Bai looked sad. When Su Kang left, everyone asked her what was wrong, and she said that Su Kang didn't like her. The others invited her out for drinks and offered her some advice. Seul Bai's mood improved. Min Jun got home and went to see his father, who said he would let his son become self-reliant and successful on his own. He would no longer force him to find Seul Bai. But Min Jun felt pathetic and decided to continue searching for Seul Bai. He was determined to bring her back. Min Jun then went to Su Kang's place to look for her. She thought Su Kang was back and was excited, but when she realized it was Min Jun, her smile faded. He then called Su Kang to meet up. He was standing by a river. Su Kang arrived. Min Jun talked about what had happened 2 years ago and wanted Su Kang to return. He offered him a high salary, a high position, and a beautiful apartment, but Su Kang refused and left immediately. When he got home, Seul Bai ran to him and acted cute, but he avoided her. But when he brushed his teeth, he praised her for being cute and smiled. He woke up in the middle of the night and couldn't find Seul Bai. She was standing on the porch, thinking about what Min Jun told her about her mother. Before leaving, Min Jun took Seul Bai's phone and saved his number. The next day, Seul Bai wrote another letter to her mother. When she went downstairs, the neighbor's sister took her seat in the car, leaving her feeling dejected. So she asked the neighbor to take her to the post office to mail the letter to her mother. While the two chairmen were talking on the phone, the son overheard their conversation and went to the market to investigate. He also hired someone from Chief Wang's group to do something. Meanwhile, Su Kang received a call from a client. He had to go deliver the fish. As he was getting ready to leave, he accidentally touched Seul Bai's hand. She sensed something bad was going to happen. She was about to touch his hand to confirm her intuition, but he stopped her. Seul Bai looked worried. When he arrived at the delivery location, it was very deserted. Curious, he ventured inside, only to be grabbed by a hooded figure. Seul Bai, worried about his safety, took out her phone and called him. Worried about Su Kang, Seul Bai tried calling him, but couldn't get through. She tried to remember the address Su Kang had written on a sticky note. In a panic, she called Chief Wang, but was taken away by a group of men from a black car. They brought her to where Su Kang was, but he had been drugged. Then, Seul Bai was tied up. Before leaving, the men took the gemstone necklace from around Seul Bai's neck. Her mother realized that her daughter was in danger. Min Jun was also looking at a picture he had received on his phone. Chief Wang went looking for them, but couldn't find them. He was frantic. When he called Seul Bai's phone, a stranger answered. The stranger had found her phone. He ran to find the person and took back Seul Bai's phone. He opened it and saw a Google Maps search for Yusong Company. The name sounded familiar, so he called someone to check. He then suspected something was wrong and took a taxi to Yu Song Company. It was getting dark. After learning that the two were in danger, Min Jun got in his car and rushed to their location. Inside the abandoned house, Su Kang and Seul Bai were panicking. Seul Bai had a safety pin attached to her clothes, and she managed to escape with it. The leader of the group was sitting comfortably at a coffee shop, watching them through a camera on his phone. He wanted to see Seul Bai's magic. Min Jun arrived just in time. The bomb timer was running out. Min Jun fought 3 men outside while Chief Wang arrived. The 2 people inside managed to untie themselves and fought with the things in the room. Seul Bai touched Su Kang's hand, and everything around them stopped. The bomb timer froze. Seul Bai fainted, and Chief Wang drove his car into the house and took them away. They eventually made it home. They put Seul Bai in bed. Suddenly, her wrist was bleeding. Su Kang took out medicine and blew on the wound. He felt her forehead and noticed she was burning up. Her energy had been depleted from using her magic. Su Kang was incredibly worried about her. He stayed up all night taking care of her and helping her lower her fever. The next morning, Seul Bai woke up and made breakfast for Su Kang. He praised her. But he was still curious about why the bomb timer stopped in the warehouse. He told her she had to tell him the truth. Suddenly, he realized her necklace was missing. It was very important to her, but he said it would be back. The greedy villain took the necklace and tried to sell it, but the shop owner refused to buy it. He walked out of the store and tried to put it on, but it stuck to him, making him itch all over. He scratched like a gorilla. He then went to Su Kang's store and rolled around in front of it. He saw Seul Bai and begged her to take it off him. Then, Chief Wang punched him. Everyone in the market was talking about how strange Seul Bai was. An auntie dragged her to see a fortune teller. As soon as the fortune teller saw Seul Bai, she went pale and panicked, prostrating herself in front of Seul Bai. She kept mumbling, "Oh, heaven and earth, Jade Emperor, Dilak, Bodhisattva, General, please protect me." Seul Bai was confused. She reached out her hand, but the fortune teller retreated in fear. When they left, Su Kang suddenly appeared, pulling Seul Bai home. He looked worried and kept telling her to go home and not be so childish. That evening, Su Kang was taking Seul Bai home when he ran into an old friend, Xian Dong-sik. He was the one who had plotted to kidnap them, but Su Kang didn't know that. He pretended to be innocent and acted very friendly with Su Kang. They went to a coffee shop to talk. Seul Bai sat at home, feeling sad. It started to rain. She was remembering what Seul Bai had said when she saw the pile of books outside, soaked from the rain. Su Kang, worrying about her, called her but couldn't get through. He rushed home. He saw Seul Bai sitting in the rain, trying to protect the books. He pulled her inside and said some suggestive things to her. He told her that the most important thing to him was her, that she was the most important thing. He gently kissed her, then confessed his love. They kissed passionately. The next morning, the two of them walked hand in hand to the market, happily selling fish. Su Kang, however, felt uncomfortable because people had been calling Seul Bai a witch. He pulled her away. That day, Chief Wang brought his apprentice to apologize to Seul Bai. He quickly knelt down to say sorry. Seul Bai walked over and flicked his forehead, but it was her hand that hurt. The man in the blue shirt was Seul Bai's father. He knew that his daughter was there, but he had no idea who she was. He pretended to be a customer. He said he wasn't buying anything, and Su Kang thought he was there to work. He seemed very awkward, and he kept staring at Seul Bai. Su Kang introduced him to the head of the market association and assigned him a job. The man introduced himself as Young Hyan Ti. By noon, Seul Bai pretended to have a headache. Both men rushed to her side, worried. One was her boyfriend, and the other was her father. She said she needed to go home and sleep, and she would feel better. The father was shocked to find out he was living with his daughter's boyfriend. Later, Seul Bai and Chief Wang went to a jewelry store to sell the necklace her mother gave her before they left. It was a precious heirloom. Her mother had prepared some valuable items for her, knowing she would need money. With the money she got from selling the necklace, Seul Bai bought some paint and painted the house yellow. Then, she decorated the whole house. That evening, when Su Kang came home, he thought he was dreaming. Seul Bai took him on a tour of the house, showing him everything. She had cleaned everything and organized the bookshelves. When he reached for her hand, she suddenly said, "Don't go." He reached for her hand, and the gemstone on her necklace flashed a beam of light. It spoke, "Don't go," and she wrapped her arms around him, tears rolling down her cheeks. It seemed like she was seeing some future danger. The next morning, he woke up to find himself face to face with his girlfriend. He told her how beautiful she was and kissed her forehead. Meanwhile, Min Jun was at the market searching for them. A girl was following him from a distance. She saw him staring at Su Kang and Seul Bai and, out of curiosity, decided to check out Su Kang's stall. To gather more information, she explored the entire market, moving from stall to stall. Later, she brought a bunch of things she'd bought back to Min Jun's house and said some suggestive things, trying to make him marry her. The next day, Seul Bai and Su Kang cooked together, went for a walk, and then visited a church to pray. Su Kang bought a ring and flowers for his girlfriend, but had trouble getting the ring because he didn't know her size. He went home and asked the neighbor. Just as he finished asking, he ran into Young Hyun T. Su Kang's foster father brought him some fish. When he introduced his girlfriend, he recognized the necklace around her neck and realized who she was. He then saw the man who worked there and they awkwardly bumped into each other. It turned out that the father had intended to kill Young Hyun T's lover, but Mai Su had used her magic to save her. That evening, they met to talk about why Young Hyun T was there. They both learned that they were both fathers. They argued with each other to protect their sons. The next day, Seul Bai was at the market when she was secretly photographed. The chairman Sion had found out that she was in the market. He was looking at pictures of Min Jun going to talk about business, but he also knew what his father was planning. Suddenly, 3 black cars pulled up in the middle of the market. They showed Seul Bai's picture and asked everyone to find her. Luckily, the market association leader knew those guys were bad. He told the guy in the orange shirt to tell Seul Bai. He then told everyone in the market to ignore the bad guys, and they threw flour and water on them. While the two were running away, they bumped into Min Jun. He covered for them. When they got home that night, Su Kang questioned Seul Bai about everything that had happened. After hearing her story, he left angry. He was furious because 2 years ago, his mother and he had been attacked because of Seul Bai. Su Kang rushed to the hotel to find Min Jun. He was furious about everything that Min Jun's father had done. When he found the father, it seemed like he wasn't entirely responsible. Su Kang yelled at both the father and the son. When he left, Min Jun said that Seul Bai was his girl. He then went inside and asked his father about it. The father simply said that he hadn't done it, without explaining anything. He then left. When he got home, Su Kang was mad at Seul Bai. She tried to stop him from leaving, but he left anyway. The next morning, the chairman went to the mental hospital to see his father. He kept saying to kill that witch. He remembered how Mai Su had pointed a gun at his father, but his wife had jumped in front of the bullet. Chairman Sion went to find Seul Bai so that he could send her away. If he did that, he could see his wife again. Seul Bai was at the market, and everyone bought her gifts. Su Kang came over to her and told her to leave and never come back. She sat down and cried, and everyone comforted her. Young Hyun T saw what happened and told Su Kang to go talk to her. Su Kang went back to her and told her to come home with him. Seul Bai ran to him, and they left together. When they got into the car, Su Kang had a ring and a bouquet of flowers ready. But when they arrived home, he gave her a suitcase and told her she had to stay somewhere else. Before he left, she took his hand and sensed something bad. She tried to stop him, but he didn't listen and left. That evening, when he got home, he couldn't find Seul Bai and searched everywhere. It turned out that she had gone to see Chief Wang. The next morning, the chief walked into his office and found Seul Bai asleep on the sofa. He called out to her, startled. She said she wanted to borrow some money to rent a room, implying that she was having a fight with her boyfriend. He ran outside to call Su Kang, but the line was busy. Since he had to leave, he asked his apprentice to look after Seul Bai. The apprentice had heard rumors about her ability to touch people and see the future, so he offered his hand to her to check his love life. She told him something very accurate, which surprised him. Seul Bai then said that when he heard the siren, he should go to the crosswalk in front of the market, and the girl he liked would become his girlfriend. She then left. She went to see a fortune teller to get a job using her abilities. Everyone in the market rushed over. When they saw that it was Seul Bai, they were surprised. They lined up to have their fortunes told. Meanwhile, Su Kang got a call from Chief Wang and rushed over. But when he arrived, Seul Bai was already making money telling fortunes. Because she was telling fortunes for everyone, she had saved many lives in the market that day. When Su Kang found out, he ran to her and told her to stop. He dragged her outside, yelled at her, and she left, saying she would be back. When he chased after her, it was too late. Before leaving, she asked Chief Wang to give Su Kang something. On her way home, Seul Bai met Young Hyun-T. He sat down and told her he was her father. She was surprised and pretended not to know him, leaving him feeling sad. He went to a bar and got drunk. That night, Chairman Sion had a nightmare and acted like a crazy person. Seul Bai returned to the hotel. Min Jun then took her to see her mother, but her mother didn't recognize her. She kept mumbling her daughter's name. That evening, Su Kang got home and opened a box containing the pair of shoes his mother had given Seul Bai. He hugged them and cried. Min Jun told his father that Seul Bai was not a witch, but the woman he loved. The next morning, Su Kang arrived at his store and found Young Hyun-T sleeping there. He smelled strongly of alcohol. He had a stomach ache from drinking too much, so Su Kang took him to get some soup. Everyone in the market kept talking about Seul Bai, and Su Kang said that he wasn't getting married to her and she wasn't coming back. Then, Young Hyun-T started crying, saying that Seul Bai was his daughter. Everyone was surprised, especially Su Kang. Meanwhile, Seul Bai was showing her mother pictures she had taken while she was out. Suddenly, the chairman ordered someone to pack up her things and yelled at her. Her mother suddenly snapped out of her daze, yelling back at him and hugging her daughter. She fiercely protected her daughter. That night, Su Kang sat by himself and thought about his memories with Seul Bai, and he cried. Seul Bai, at the mansion, was looking at items that reminded her of Su Kang. The next day, Su Kang decided to get his identity back and decided to go back to his old name. He made plans to have dinner with his foster father at a barbecue restaurant to discuss this. He then went back to the market to continue selling fish. His foster father, to protect his son, went to warn Seul Bai's father to leave. At the market, things happened as Seul Bai had predicted. When people were fighting, she advised them not to get involved, and when the market association leader had a big problem, she told him to let Su Kang handle it. Min Jun was at the hotel, being careful with his every word and gesture to interact with Seul Bai. He refused to use her abilities to advance his career, which made her feel strange. That evening, the entire market suddenly lost power. Thanks to Su Kang, the electricity came back on. Seul Bai was drinking beer with Min Jun. Her mother saw them and felt worried. The next morning, a woman came looking for Su Kang. He remembered what Seul Bai had told him, that he would definitely meet this woman. Miss Ok Jin, from the Cultural Museum, came to find Su Kang and called him by his real name. She asked about the current location of the prophetic witch, but Su Kang refused to reveal it. She left a business card and left. At the Kiam-ha Corporation, the secretary informed Min Jun that the results of the biotech investment were not good. Min Jun, knowing the outcome from Seul Bai's prophecy, was confident in his decision and planned to partner with the Hong Kong investors to compete. Mr. In Young, hearing this news, was furious that Min Jun and his father had gotten ahead. He and Dong Sik immediately started planning to get the prophetic witch, Seul Bai, as soon as possible. Dong Sik approached Min Jun and Seul Bai, making a show of wanting to see them and then requesting a private meeting. He mentioned that Su Kang would be there as well, which made Seul Bai uncomfortable. Right away, Dong Sik took his friend Jang Jun to Su Kang's fish store to find him. Jang Jun was happy to see Su Kang again and invited him to go out for drinks to catch up. It turned out that Dong Sik and his father had planned this visit beforehand. They wanted to control the man the prophetic witch loved, giving them an advantage. They figured that by doing so, the prophetic witch would be on their side, a 2-for-1 move by Dong Sik and his father. That evening, Dong Sik's group went out for drinks. The meeting included Min Jun and Seul Bai. The atmosphere was awkward between them. Dong Sik offered his hand to Seul Bai to have his fortune told, to prove her ability to see the future. Su Kang vehemently opposed it, not wanting her powers to be exposed, but Seul Bai was determined to do what she chose. She said, "I'm not ashamed, and I was once imprisoned like an animal. Now I'm going to do what I want." She and Su Kang left. They ran into Jang Jong on the street. She offered to drive them home, which Seul Bai was excited about. On the rooftop, Dong Sik started trying to persuade Su Kang to join his side. He offered him wealth and influence, and a partnership to defeat Kiam-ha. Su Kang flatly refused, not wanting to be manipulated in a meaningless financial war. Mr. In Young, after investigating, found out that Su Kang was the young man from the accident 2 years ago who didn't die. He was furious and ordered his men to investigate Su Kang's background more thoroughly. The next morning, Su Kang went to the Cultural Museum to find Miss Ok Jin. He wanted to ask her how to make Seul Bai normal. Miss Ok Jin agreed to help. She showed him a broken witch's stone, which surprised him. It turned out that she had been a prophetic witch before, but was now a normal person. She said that this wasn't the right time to make Seul Bai normal and asked Su Kang to wait. Su Kang returned to the market, feeling sad. He remembered the good times he had with Seul Bai and missed her. Meanwhile, at the hotel, Mr. Sam Young was thinking about how he had imprisoned Seul Bai and her mother. He felt like a terrible person for using them to his advantage. Secretary Cha advised the chairman to let Seul Bai and her mother go and forget everything that happened. But while Chairman Sam Young claimed he regretted his actions, he still didn't want to let them go. The scene shifts to Seul Bai and Min Jun, who went to the Seodong market to buy fried chicken because Mai Su loves it. Everyone was excited to see Seul Bai back, and they eagerly prepared many things for her. Knowing that Seul Bai was a lucky charm, the vendors in the market all gave her gifts, hoping for good business. Su Kang arrived later. He remembered what Miss Ok Jin had said, all the misfortunes that the witch averted would be absorbed into her body and would eventually erupt, affecting everyone around her. He was worried and asked about Seul Bai, also warning Min Jun not to let her go out too much. That evening, Min Jun and Seul Bai returned to the hotel and ran into Jang Kyung's mother. She was very happy to meet her future daughter-in-law. Seul Bai introduced herself as Min Jun's cousin, which made him unhappy. In the elevator, Min Jun confessed that he had broken off his engagement with Jang Kyung to be with Seul Bai, because she was the only woman he had ever loved. However, Seul Bai directly refused because she knew that she was nothing more than a lucky charm. Dong Sik and his father had a conversation. Dong Sik boasted about how he'd failed to persuade Su Kang to join them. But Min Jun had brought the witch Seul Bai out to meet everyone. Mr. Il Young immediately called Chairman Sam Young to tell him the news. Min Jun received a slap for daring to bring Seul Bai out. Luckily, Secretary Cha stopped him from getting a beating. Seul Bai and her mother enjoyed a delicious dinner together. Mai Su explained why she wanted to continue being a prophetic witch. Once, during an argument, she shot at the chairman but accidentally hit her own mother. Yoon Ho called to tell Su Kang that Chairman In Young was also scheming to claim Seul Bai for himself. Meanwhile, Dong Sik managed to approach Seul Bai at the hotel. She saw his future, but didn't say anything. He paid her a lot of money, pretending it was a fee for the fortune-telling. Mai Su told her daughter not to reveal anything about the future, but Seul Bai felt it was unfair. She blamed her own selfishness for not telling Su Kang the truth, which led to his mother's death. At the same time, the news about Min Jun's broken engagement with Jang Kyung made headlines. Chairman Sam Young was furious that his son had made that decision without his permission. The scene shifts to Jeoseong Credit Office, where Yoon Ho officially opens his business. From now on, he will start working legally, offering fast and convenient loan services. At the hotel, Sam Young is furious because his son broke off the engagement. He demands his secretary to suppress the news and prevent it from affecting the company. He calls Min Jun a fool, a destructive idiot, and accuses him of being under a spell from the witch Seul Bai. Immediately, Sam Young goes to Seul Bai's mother to confront her. He believes Min Jun's situation is similar to his father's, who was once bewitched by a fortune teller. However, Miss Mai Su states that the fortune teller merely reflects the inner world of greedy people like him. Sam Young insists that the fortune teller is the source of all misfortunes. Meanwhile, at Seodong Market, the vendors are celebrating their good fortune and successful sales. They praise Su Kang as the lucky charm of the market, bringing them prosperity. The next morning, Su Kang goes to the museum to meet Miss Ok Jin. She tells him about the origin of the witches, how they brought good fortune and dispelled misfortune for kings, and how they passed down their fortune-telling abilities from mother to daughter, and then to granddaughter. Times have changed, but their fortune-telling abilities have remained. They were once captured by a modern organization for personal gains, but Miss Ok Jin escaped. She met a man and fell in love at first sight. The witch's protection stone is unbreakable, but the man helped her destroy it. From then on, she lost her fortune-telling abilities and became an ordinary person. Miss Ok Jin demands Su Kang to quickly make Seul Bai normal again, otherwise, the accumulated misfortune will turn Seul Bai into a female demon, bringing curses upon the world. Su Kang immediately goes to the hotel to find Seul Bai and persuades her to come back with him. But this time, Seul Bai refuses and returns the engagement ring to Su Kang. She vows to keep her powers and not bother him anymore. She rejects Su Kang harshly and leaves. Su Kang returns home heartbroken, wearing Seul Bai's ring on his pinky finger. Everyone at the market knows he's down and brings him food to cheer him up, but he refuses and goes back to his room. He gazes at the room where he and Seul Bai once lived together, reminiscing about their happy memories, making him feel overwhelmed with emotions. At the key Hoa Corporation, Sam Young is furious because his elder brother In Young successfully persuaded shareholders and acquired 30% of the company's shares. He wants Min Jun to give up his position as CEO so he can manage the company alone. But Min Jun refuses and asserts that he has the capacity to run the company and fight his older brother. Later, Min Jun goes to Seul Bai and proposes to become her official boyfriend. Seul Bai is surprised by this proposal. The next morning, Sam Young and In Young meet and declare war on each other. They will use any means necessary to defeat each other, even resorting to family ties. Then, In Young goes to find Secretary Young and demands him to bring his daughter to him or face consequences. Meanwhile, at the hotel, Seul Bai goes to find Min Jun and asks for permission to go out for a while to handle something important. She insists on going alone, and Min Jun reluctantly agrees. Seul Bai goes to meet Secretary Young as previously planned. Seul Bai knows that Secretary Young wants to sell her to Mr. In Young. Meanwhile, Su Kang is deeply heartbroken and sits in a daze at the market, worrying everyone. Yoon Young comes to comfort him and invites him to dinner that night. He suddenly realizes the man who kidnapped Secretary Young earlier looks familiar. He rushes to the credit company and learns that they met him at the Chinese restaurant before. His name is Yom, and he's the secretary of Chairman Sam Young. Meanwhile, Secretary Young has brought his daughter to Mr. In Young's corporation. Mr. In Young is delighted to finally have the lucky star in his hands. Seul Bai agrees to see his future, on the condition that he doesn't torture her father anymore. He immediately agrees. However, he will not be the one reading the fortune this time. Instead, someone else will, and there will be a formal meeting with full payment for the fortune-telling session. Then, Seul Bai and her father leave. Secretary Young is no longer under the control of Jio Seong. As they are talking, Su Kang arrives and scolds Secretary Young for bringing Seul Bai to a dangerous place. Seul Bai calms the situation by inviting everyone to visit Seodong Market. That evening, the two have dinner at Miss Bang's fried chicken shop. Other vendors learn about Seul Bai's visit and gather to greet her. Seul Bai discreetly asks them for favors. When everyone leaves, the couple begins their dinner. Su Kang thanks Seul Bai for protecting him and bringing him good fortune. He wants to do the same for her and stay by her side as a friend. He gives Seul Bai Miss Ok Jin's business card. Just then, Min Jun arrives and scolds Seul Bai for coming here without telling him, forcing him to search for her. Su Kang and Min Jun talk like two men. Su Kang still loves Seul Bai and will never give up on his love. Min Jun doesn't care about that, as it's Seul Bai's decision. Before leaving, Su Kang asks Min Jun not to hold Seul Bai's hand anymore. Su Kang returns home and meets Secretary Cha. He gives Su Kang an invitation to meet with Chairman Sam Young, but Su Kang doesn't care and refuses to meet. The next morning at Jioseong Credit Office, the secretary had dumped a pile of toys out of a box. Yoon Ho, upon seeing the White Rabbit USB, remembered Seul Bai's request to bring this pile of toys to Su Kang. Right at that moment, Dong Sich and Secretary Yoon came to visit. He asked Yoon Ho about the memory stick containing the previous owner's documents. He was about to grab the USBs on the table when the vendors from Seodong Market arrived with gifts to celebrate the office's opening. They accidentally dropped all the memory sticks onto the ground. It turned out everyone was there to congratulate Yoon Ho because Seul Bai had asked them to. Taking advantage of the fact that everyone was distracting the two guys, Yoon Ho joined in with them and quickly grabbed the rabbit USB from under the ground. He then quickly delivered the USB to Su Kang as instructed by Seul Bai. Meanwhile, Seul Bai had a heart-to-heart conversation with her mother. Miss Mai Su wanted her daughter to leave quickly, but Seul Bai chose to stay. She promised to find a way to make everyone happy. She also gave Miss Mai Su Miss Ok Jin's business card. It turned out Miss Ok Jin was Miss Mai Su's aunt, who was also the twin sister of Miss Mai Su's mother and had escaped years ago. That evening, Seul Bai was taken to dinner by Min Jun and met the novelist Jang Kyung. When they returned, Mr. Sam Young was very angry about Min Jun's actions because he had revealed Seul Bai's identity and abilities to others. When he met Miss Mai Su, she requested to see Su Kang. She said that Seul Bai and Su Kang had an invisible connection from a long time ago. People called it fate. In Su Kang's room, while cleaning, Secretary Jun picked up a picture. Su Kang said that the person in the picture was him as a child, but he didn't remember the woman next to him. Unexpectedly, Secretary Young recognized her as Seul Bai's mother. It turned out that after escaping from Chairman Seon Ju Cheol's house, both of them had become lost and were taken in by Su Kang's family. At that time, Miss Mai Su was pregnant with Seul Bai, and Su Kang had felt the baby in her womb. From then on, they were connected. Miss Mai Su also told Seul Bai the truth. Afterwards, the chairman sent people to assassinate her to bring her back. Secretary Young tried to fight back, but he couldn't. Miss Mai Su was captured by the thugs, and he lost contact with her from that point. Mr. Ju Cheol even blamed Secretary Young for corruption and attempted murder, causing him to be unjustly imprisoned for 20 years. Su Kang checked the USB and discovered a video recording of the old man in June hiring someone to assassinate him. Meanwhile, In June checked his USs and found that they were all empty. He was extremely angry. Su Kang went to find Uncle Go to ask him about the incident 20 years ago. He was the one hired to assassinate Miss Mai Su, but she helped him understand his son's death that day and changed the fates of both him and his son. He also kept his promise to Miss Mai Su and saved Su Kang's life during the assassination attempt on the river 2 years ago. Now, Su Kang finally understood everything. At the hotel, Miss Mai Su also requested Mr. Sam Young to bring Su Kang to meet her. He was about to inform Secretary Cha to bring Su Kang when Su Kang proactively called to make an appointment. At Su Kang's house, he showed Mr. Sam Young the video of the old man in June hiring someone to assassinate him. He explained that everything wasn't caused by Mr. Sam Young, but he was the one who caused the death of Su Jiang's mother. Mr. Sam Young promised to take responsibility and rectify the consequences. Therefore, Su Kang demanded that Mr. Sam Young make In June pay the price and release Seul Bai and her mother. The first thing Mr. Sam Young did was bring Su Kang to work at the Ki Hoa Corporation under the title of Chairman Secretary. Min Jun was not happy with this at all. Seul Bai was very surprised to see Su Kang here. Min Jun demanded his father to immediately fire Su Kang. This was Mr. Sam Young's intention, and he forbade Min Jun from interfering. Later, Su Kang was brought by Secretary Cha to the place where Seul Bai and her mother had been held captive for so long. It was the rabbit burrow that Seul Bai had mentioned. Meeting Miss Mai Su there, they were both extremely emotional and reminisced about old memories. Su Kang also thanked Miss Mai Su for using her fortune-telling to save his life. She entrusted Seul Bai to Su Kang so that he could protect and care for her. Min Jun went to meet Miss Mai Su. Previously, he had never been angry or resentful towards her, but this time he was very angry because she didn't hand Seul Bai over to him. But fate had decided, and Min Jun would never have Seul Bai. Min Jun, feeling sad, drank and talked to Su Kang. He wanted Su Kang to give up everything and hand Seul Bai over to him. But Su Kang said, "No way, Wolf," and left. Meanwhile, Miss Mai Su revealed the secret she had kept hidden for 20 years to Mr. Sam Young, that Seul Bai was his daughter. This shocked him deeply, and he burst into tears with remorse for all the evil he had done. The next morning, Jang Kyung and her brother went to the hotel to find Min Jun, scolding him for breaking off the engagement and arranging for Seul Bai to meet his sister. Right at that moment, Seul Bai and Su Kang arrived, making everyone feel awkward. Seul Bai and Jang Kyung had a private conversation. Jang Kyung scolded Seul Bai for being greedy, wanting both men. She said it was impossible for her to be with Min Jun. Seul Bai tried to explain, but she couldn't. Min Jun came and took Jang Kyung away. She was very sad because she didn't have feelings for Min Jun, and he continued to pursue a love that would never be his. Jang Kyung proposed marriage to Min Jun and then kissed him. That evening, Chairman Sam Young prepared a dinner party for Seul Bai and her mother. Both Su Kang and Min Jun participated. They ate dinner together, happily like family. Miss Mai Su cared for Min Jun by serving him food, which made his mood better. The next morning, a meeting was held at Ki Hoa to discuss the plan for forming the board of directors for the next term. The shareholders were being swayed by the old chairman In Young, who now held a significant number of shares. Chairman Sam Young needed to come up with a timely strategy for this intellectual battle. The next day, Su Kang and Miss Mai Su went to the museum to meet Miss Ok Jin. The two aunts and niece were very emotional at their reunion. Afterwards, they sat down together and talked. Miss Ok Jin said that the key Hoa Tower was built based on the power of the witch. As a result, it contained a lot of misfortune gathered from various places. To save Seul Bai, the key Hoa Tower would have to be completely destroyed. More importantly, they would have to sever the cycle of the fortune-telling witches. Miss Mai Su accepted this heavy responsibility. At the hotel, Mr. Sam Young, as a father, bought his daughter some things. This made Seul Bai happy, and he felt the meaning of being a father to her. Meanwhile, Jang Kyung was buying flowers and remembered Seul Bai's prophecy, which mentioned adding some carnations. She then went to visit Min Jun's mother's grave and met him there. Min Jun was very touched that Jang Kyung came to visit and brought carnations, his mother's favorite flower. This helped Jang Kyung gain more favor with Min Jun. The scene shifted to Su Kang arriving at the market with a stylish look, surprising everyone. Su Kang went to find Secretary Young and took him to meet an important person, who turned out to be Miss Mai Su. They were both emotional when they reunited. Secretary Young apologized for what he had done to Miss Mai Su 20 years ago. Miss Mai Su removed the hypnotism from Secretary Young, causing him to realize that Seul Bai was not his daughter. While he would receive a huge sum of compensation, he wasn't happy about the truth. Miss Mai Su returned the sapphire ring to Secretary Young. This made him realize that Seul Bai, because of him, had made a deal with the old chairman In Young to see her future, and might be in danger. Meanwhile, Secretary Cha had caught the traitor who had been selling confidential information to the old man In Young. He taught him a lesson and warned him never to appear again. The scene changed again, and the old man In Young took Seul Bai to a mental hospital. Dong Sich wasn't allowed to go with them, so he followed. Before entering the room to see the mysterious person, In Young warned Seul Bai many things related to the company shares. They both entered the room. Unexpectedly, the person was the old chairman In Jom from the past. He thought Seul Bai was Miss Ok Jin and wanted to see his future. Seul Bai predicted that In Jom's fate was about to end. As for In Young, he should meet Miss Ok Jin to get what he wanted in the share battle. At this moment, Chairman Sam Young, furious, arrived and rebuked his brother In Young for playing dirty and declared that he was ready to fight him to the end. After bringing Seul Bai back home safely, she recalled what In Young had said earlier. To her, both Sam Young and In Young were the same. So, Seul Bai predicted a future event for Sam Young related to the investment of Key Hoa Corporation. Immediately, Sam Young discussed the strategy with Secretary Cha, presenting an investment agreement with a company in America that In Young was going to invest in to play a dirty trick on him. Min Jun found out and ran to Seul Bai. She suddenly uttered a prophecy, saying that he would replace her and take her curse. This made Min Jun very confused, and he thought about it a lot. After calming down, Seul Bai felt disappointed in herself. Even though she could see the future, she couldn't change it, just like Su Kang's mother's case 2 years ago. Su Kang didn't blame Seul Bai. He comforted her and helped her feel better. He put a glove on her hand and gave her a kiss. Min Jun witnessed this scene from the outside, feeling very bitter. The next morning, Secretary Cha brought Su Kang the agreement that In Young would invest in. To make him take the bait, they needed someone to lay the trap. Su Kang knew someone who could help with this, Miss Ok Jin. In Young was very excited to see her and instantly recognized her as one of the twins his father had brought back years ago. He tried to convince Miss Ok Jin to be on his side to acquire more shares and defeat Sam Young. Miss Ok Jin agreed with one condition. In Young had to sign the investment agreement for the funds, and then she would invest. After a lot of negotiation, the old man finally agreed and took the bait. Seul Bai met her aunt Miss Ok Jin. She said that she had seen a vision of Key Hoa Corporation collapsing in the future. The two aunts and niece were emotional and hugged each other for all they had been through. The next morning, In Young and Dong Sich were happy because they thought they had won the stock battle and taken over the entire Key Hoa Corporation. Chairman Sam Young was delighted to hear that In Young had invested. He was even happier when Secretary Chan announced that the company In Young had invested in America had its assets completely frozen. In Young and his son were shocked and furious when they heard this news. They were played badly. They called Miss Ok Jin for help, but she didn't care about the money at all. In Young realized that he had been tricked by the fortune-telling witches. He immediately sent his men to find Secretary Young to take revenge for leaking the information. However, his friends at the market staged a scene, crying and lamenting that Secretary Young had tricked them and stolen all their money, and they were now looking for him to take revenge. The gangsters had no choice but to leave in defeat. In Young and his son thought of ways to deal with the situation, but they were unsuccessful. The prosecutor arrived with an arrest warrant for fraud, embezzlement, and insider trading. In-young called his contacts for help, but they all refused. He had no choice but to pretend to faint and leave by ambulance. The scene shifted to Seul-bai meeting Secretary Cha. From the beginning, she knew he wasn't her real father, but she always supported his ideals. Seul-bai used her fortune-telling powers to tell Secretary Cha that his future would be happy, living with his wife and children. Later, Su Kang and Seul-bai had a very fun day out together. Su Kang then suggested that they run away to a secluded place to start a new life, raising fish and growing vegetables. However, Seul-bai refused. The future she had seen for Min-jun forced her to stay. Min-jun would be the next person to inherit the curse of misfortune, just like his grandfather. There would be no way to change or cure that curse. But Su Kang believed that there would definitely be a miracle. Sam-young also knew that this would happen to his son, but he chose to keep it a secret. Miss Mai-su advised him to tell Min-jun about the curse before it was too late. The scene shifted to Dong-sich being confronted by the shareholders who demanded money because their investment from him and his father had vanished. He angrily yelled and cursed at them while they took whatever they could grab. Dong-sich suddenly discovered the recording pen that he had asked Yom to put in his father's jacket. He heard the conversation in which Seul-bai had prophesied that the next person to bear the curse would be a blood relative of the Seon family. Meanwhile, Sam-young had filed paperwork to officially recognize Seul-bai as his daughter. However, Secretary Cha wanted him to postpone it until after the shareholder meeting to avoid any impact. At that moment, Min-jun arrived and overheard this. He was shocked to learn that the girl he loved was his half-sister. On Seul-bai's side, she was also surprised by the truth that her mother had been hiding for so long. The two siblings had a heart-to-heart conversation to express their long-held grievances. All their emotional issues were resolved, allowing them to be more comfortable with each other. However, the curse began to manifest on Min-jun's body, causing him pain. Sam-young had gone to see Ok-jin to ask for forgiveness, but because she had been imprisoned with her niece and granddaughter for 20 years, she couldn't let it go. She was determined to destroy the entire Kiam-hoa fortress in a decisive way to release the power of the witch and free her granddaughter. As for the curse on Min-jun, he would have to bear it. But Sam-young accepted to sacrifice everything, even his life, to find a way to save his son from the curse. Seeing his sincerity, Ok-jin gave Sam-young a box containing the curse-breaking charm. On the other side, In-young and his son were furious at their defeat against Sam-young. Determined to seek revenge and reclaim Kiam-hoa at all costs, Dong-sich called Min-jun and invited him to visit his father at the mental hospital. Min-jun used the excuse of visiting his uncle, In-young, to pass the security and his father's secretary. Min-jun then went to the mental hospital to see his father, filled with resentment. But Sam-young was there first, holding his father's hand and confessing all the crimes they had committed over the years. He also sacrificed himself to absorb all the curses from his father, taking on the consequences to help his son, Min-jun. After transferring the curse to Sam-young, the old man passed away. When Min-jun arrived, his father was just a cold, lifeless body. Sam-young returned home, convulsing due to the curse of the witch he had absorbed. Everyone was worried, unsure why he was suffering. The next day, the funeral for the former chairman of the Kiam-hoa group, In-jom, was held. In-young and Sam-young's brothers sat together and began to bicker. However, Su Kang, enraged, directly called out In-young, calling him a scumbag who had committed the crimes and then blamed his younger brother when he was caught. In-young was furious but couldn't say anything because Su Kang was right. Before he succumbed to the curse, Sam-young had transferred all his power to his son, Min-jun, making him the guardian. Min-jun wanted to know why his father had done that, why he had absorbed the curse at that moment, whether he was running away from something. But Mai-su told him that Sam-young had sacrificed himself and absorbed the curse, risking his life to save Min-jun. However, this made Min-jun even angrier because it was never what he wanted. In the car, Seul-bai comforted and encouraged Min-jun to fight to the end to honor his father. She promised that she and their close friend, Su Kang, would always support him. Later, Seul-bai and Su Kang went for a walk together. As a psychic witch, Seul-bai couldn't predict her own future. She wanted to see what would happen to Su Kang. But she was shocked to see in her vision that Su Kang would die. The scene shifts to the hideout where Gu is hiding. Chio is also there. Gu shows Chio Su Kang's photo and informs him that Su Kang is still alive. It turns out Chio was the one who hired Gu to kill Su Kang, but Gu didn't go through with it. Worried that Chio would find Su Kang and finish the job, Gu decided to kill Chio to silence him. The two fight, and Gu, with his combat skills, manages to subdue Chio. Just as he's about to strike, Yunho and Desik arrive and stop him. They tell Gu to speak to Su Kang. Su Kang had already arranged a plan for Gu's escape and asked him to follow his instructions. Gu calms down and Chio is spared. After Gu leaves, Yunho receives instructions from Seul Bai to hand Chio over to Dong Sitik and keep it a secret from Su Kang. Yunho plays a recording of In Young wanting to kill Chio to silence him and gives Chio a USB drive containing a video of his transaction with In Young. Dong Sitik's men arrive and take Chio away. One would expect Dong Sitik to kill Chio to cover his tracks, but he doesn't. Instead, he tells Chio to go to the police station and truthfully testify against his father for all the crimes he has committed. Chio is shocked and doesn't believe Dong Sitik's request, as he can't imagine his son would betray him. He immediately goes to the police station to confess. Prosecutors arrive at the hospital with an arrest warrant to bring In Young to the station. This time, even faking illness won't save him. This was all part of Dong Sitik's plan. Now that In Young, the mastermind, has been caught and dealt with, Secretary Young no longer has anything to worry about. He returns to Seodong Market and reunites with his loved ones. Min Jun and Young Kyung's relationship continues to blossom, and they are headed for marriage. The next morning, Su Kang and Seul Bai return to Seodong Market to visit everyone. Secretary Young is overwhelmed with gratitude for Su Kang and Seul Bai, as they have saved him from a dark fate. His prophecy of living a happy life with his wife and children seems to be coming true. They then go to Hong's clothing store to buy clothes as gifts for their families. Seul Bai buys a scarf for her mother, a coat for her father, and a coat for her brother Min Jun. They are now one family, and they cherish and love each other. Min Jun takes responsibility for caring for his family in place of his father. He also entrusts his sister to his best friend Su Kang. The scene then shifts to the police investigation. They have issued an arrest warrant for Dong Sitik on charges of conspiracy. He is forced to go into hiding with Secretary Yom's help while all his bank accounts are frozen. A shareholders' meeting is organized to vote on whether to appoint Min Jun as chairman of the board of directors. The meeting is tense because an article on the internet accuses the Kiem Corporation of harboring a witch, leading to a decline in stock prices. The meeting is abruptly cancelled. Everyone in Seodong Market is reading the article while celebrating Seul Bai's birthday. Su Kang immediately arrives and takes Seul Bai back to the hotel. The press quickly arrive to film the scene. Min, a former employee of the Kiem Corporation, exposed Seul Bai's identity as a witch to the public, accusing the corporation of using fortune-telling as a means for illegal profit. This was actually Dong Sitik's plan to sabotage the company. Everyone in the family was worried about Seul Bai and Mai Su because of the public pressure, but Min Jun, as the eldest son, took full responsibility. Although it was Seul Bai's birthday, too many events happened, and the joy wasn't complete. Su Kang baked Seul Bai a small birthday cake and comforted her, assuring her that everything would be fine. The next morning, Min Jun held a press conference, admitting that all the rumors were true. He took full responsibility as the guardian of the corporation and apologized to everyone. Later, Seul Bai and Mai Su stood bravely before the media, defending Min Jun. They declared that Seul Bai wasn't being held captive, but voluntarily stayed with Min Jun, who was only trying to protect them from harm. The reporters bombarded them with questions about Seul Bai and Mai Su's personal life and their backgrounds, putting Seul Bai in a difficult position. Fortunately, the residents of Seodong Market came to Seul Bai's rescue, claiming her as a member of the community and presenting evidence to protect her, which made the reporters shut up. Su Kang noticed Dong Sitik following him but lost sight of him when he went outside. Dong Sitik, along with Secretary Yom, quickly fled in a car. The police officers on the road were bribed and didn't follow the arrest warrant for Dong Sitik. Dong Sitik then went to an old warehouse to meet Min, the nurse who cared for Seul Bai and her mother. They had previously agreed to expose the secret to the media in exchange for money from Dong Sitik. But Dong Sitik betrayed them, threatening and blackmailing them. The next morning, Min Jun talked to his father about his decision to dissolve the Kiem Corporation. This was to break the curse that had plagued the men in their family for generations. His father couldn't speak but smiled in agreement. Seul Bai woke up and couldn't find her mother. Su Kang explained that Mai Su had left with Chairman Sam Young. Secretary Cha had taken them back to their hometown to live. After settling them in, Secretary Cha hugged Sam Young one last time as a farewell and left. Then he went to the city police station to turn himself in. He sacrificed himself to protect Chairman Sam Young. Min Jun was deeply grateful for his sacrifice and arranged for his bail and a lawyer. Meanwhile, Dong Sik, with his plan foiled, decided to use dirty tactics to retaliate. He put Seul Bai's 2 teachers on a live stream and began to reveal the crimes of Chairman Xian's family. The residents of the market were worried and avoided Seul Bai, fearing bad luck from the witch. Secretary Young informed them about the false rumors and was talking to them when the fortune teller from the market arrived, ringing her bell and calling Seul Bai a devil, making her very sad. Seeing the residents' attitude towards Seul Bai, Secretary Young scolded them, calling them all fools who make a big deal out of nothing, and then chased everyone away. Later, Su Kang delivered a moving speech about Seul Bai's tragic life. He compared her to a beautiful swallow with a melodious voice who had been trapped in a cage for over 20 years. He pleaded for everyone's understanding and asked them not to ostracize her. The people were moved and accepted Seul Bai's birthday invitation. They decided to go to Seul Bai's place to celebrate her birthday. That evening, on the rooftop of the hotel, Su Kang prepared a special surprise for Seul Bai. He arranged a beautiful outdoor birthday party for her. She was very touched by his thoughtfulness. As they gazed at the stars in the romantic setting, Su Kang presented Seul Bai with an engagement ring and promised to be with her forever. They shared a passionate kiss, reaffirming their everlasting love. The scene then shifts to Chairman Sam Young and Mai Su's house. After expressing their feelings and forgiveness for Sam Young's mistakes, Mai Su sacrificed herself to break the witch's curse. When Sam Young woke up, he cried uncontrollably at her sacrifice. Seul Bai, who was sleeping, woke up as well, sensing her mother's departure. Just then, she received a call. It was Dong Sik. He threatened Seul Bai, saying he would possess her for himself. Dong Sik, by this point, had gone completely mad. He discovered that Secretary Yom was planning to leave and didn't hesitate to shoot and kill his loyal servant. Then, he ordered his men to kidnap everyone at Yun Ho's finance company. That evening, the residents of Seodong Market came to Seul Bai's house to celebrate her birthday. They had a wonderful dinner and shared many stories. Meanwhile, Su Kang was working with others to track down Dong Sik and eliminate him. Seul Bai, unexpectedly, received a threatening picture from Dong Sik. He also called her, letting her listen to his men torturing the people he had kidnapped at the finance company. He demanded Seul Bai to come to his location immediately, or he would kill them. She rushed to Dong Sik's location. He showed her his men torturing Yun Ho and demanded she do what he wanted or they would all die. Su Kang received the news and drove immediately to the location. He also called Min Jun for help. When Min Jun arrived at Dong Sik's hideout, he discovered that they had planted many time bombs. The police were notified and rushed to the scene. Inside, Dong Sik was about to do something terrible to Seul Bai when Su Kang drove up. He found a way to climb inside. He fought alone against Dong Sik's men, but they were too strong for him. Fortunately, the leader of the gang Su Kang had partnered with before arrived and rescued Yun Ho and the 2 old teachers. They fought alongside Su Kang, buying him time. He ran to Seul Bai and saw that she was being held hostage at gunpoint by Dong Sik. He tried to persuade Dong Sik, but it was no use. Seul Bai recalled her prophetic visions and wanted to change them. She broke free, transforming into a witch as per the curse, and gained control of Dong Sik. She forced him to point the gun at his own head and end his own life. However, Su Kang leaped forward and pushed Dong Sik away, taking the bullet instead. He calmly calmed Seul Bai with a kiss and helped her regain her human form. Just as they were lost in each other, a gunshot rang out. Dong Sik had shot Su Kang in the chest. Seul Bai screamed in anguish and once again transformed into a witch. Su Kang rushed forward to stop Dong Sik from firing, but his resolve was faltering. Seul Bai, using her power, tried to subdue him, but Su Kang ran to her, embraced her, and gently kissed her. A gunshot echoed, and Su Kang collapsed. Seul Bai screamed in despair, begging him to come back. People were running around in chaos. Min Jun had just arrived and was trying to break a lock with a rock. Everyone inside was in disarray. Hearing the gunshot, Chief Wang was about to go upstairs when Dong Sik came down, pointing his gun at everyone. Su Kang seemed to be dead, and Seul Bai was heartbroken. She wailed loudly. Suddenly, everything around her stopped, and time rewound to the moment before Su Kang was shot. Seul Bai told him that there was a gun behind him and that he should dodge. He dodged the bullet, attacked Dong Sihik, and sent him tumbling down to the first floor. But when he ran back upstairs, there was only the necklace left. Seul Bai had vanished. He searched everywhere but couldn't find her. His heart ached. He searched for Seul Bai tirelessly, even handing out flyers. Everyone in the market was sad and joined the search. Flyers were plastered everywhere. Chairman Xian was sitting outside, combing Mai Su's hair, and felt deep regret for not running away with her. Mai Su leaned against him and cried. Min Jun received 2 letters from his father at home and then went to visit him in prison. He handed him a letter from his younger brother, who was apologizing. Now, both father and son were in prison, but the son had gone insane. Su Kang continued his search for Seul Bai. A woman at the police station claimed she had seen Seul Bai, so Su Kang rushed to the location. However, when he saw the picture, it wasn't her. He felt a deep sense of disappointment. He then met an older woman by the river who gave him Seul Bai's bracelet. She gave him back his necklace and said that if fate had it, they would meet again. No matter how far apart they were, they would find each other again. Su Kang sat in the church, holding the necklace. He was heartbroken and wept, constantly thinking about Seul Bai. Time passed like a sharp blade, unbearable without Seul Bai. Without her warm embrace, time became a cold, icy sword piercing Su Kang. Then, he received news about Seul Bai and rushed to the East Sea. Chief Wang was waiting for him downstairs. Su Kang's relentless search for her had caused him to miss 4 meetings of the Yongjin Financial Group's board of directors. Chief Wang suggested a video conference. When Su Kang arrived at the location where Seul Bai was supposed to be, it was truly her, but she didn't recognize him. She was being called by a different name. An older woman had taken her in as her granddaughter and named her after her lost daughter. Su Kang decided to stay there, waiting for her. Despite the cold outside, he sat there until nightfall. The woman saw him and called her out. Seul Bai stood before him and asked who he was. She went back inside and turned off the lights. Su Kang stood there, watching her silently, too heartbroken to speak. The next morning, Su Kang saw her delivering goods and followed her on his bike. She fell down, and he rushed to help her up. At noon, she ate noodles inside, and Su Kang sat outside looking forlorn. She brought him a bowl of noodles and went back inside. Whenever she went out, he followed. The day passed quickly. In the evening, as Su Kang was about to leave, he noticed she was still wearing the ring he had given her. She ran after him and asked how she knew him. He showed her the sapphire necklace. 2 days later, Su Kang took her back to her hometown and informed everyone in the market, who were overjoyed. Su Kang then took her to the place she had lived for decades, and then to Xiaodong Market. People reenacted their first encounters with her, but she couldn't remember anything. She felt confused and bewildered. Everyone tried to help her recall her past, but she found it boring. Su Kang took her home and tried to kiss her, but she pushed him away. He smiled. That evening, they stood on the porch, drinking beer together. She told him that she didn't remember anything but liked Su Kang, liking him simply like a prince. He proposed to Seul Bai. She leaned in and kissed him. Finally, they were together again. The next day, Seul Bai became the bride and Su Kang the groom. Everyone was happy. The wedding ceremony was held in the market. Su Kang felt nervous because he was about to become a husband. As the bride was walking towards the groom, she tripped, but he caught her. They kissed, showered with blessings from everyone. They had a son. Seul Bai's memories hadn't returned, but she was happy and contented living with her beautiful wife. Their love grew stronger each day. 5 years later, they were still happy together with their son, and Seul Bai recovered her memories. And that's the end of our movie review. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any more great movies. Until next time, goodbye and see you in the next video.